say the Montreal Screwjob doesn't happen.
Okay.
Let's say Bret goes over like he wanted to. Do you think Bret does the right thing the next day?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Bret was really he was bitter about it. Bret didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
It was a money deal. And
Yeah.
He'd been a loyal soldier, man. So there were so many feelings. Everybody was just tapped out on the whole thing. I don't know, man. I don't know that it's. You walk out. I don't know. Maybe he would have, but it doesn't.
You can't take that chance.
You cannot, absolutely zero way can you take the chance. I will say that he probably would have. I'm going to say he probably would have gone on TV and dropped it. No, not dropped it, but give it away or give it up or vacate it, whatever the word is I'm looking for. But that doesn't do us any good.
Yeah.
We can't have a guy vacate the title and then is going to the other show and it just doesn't work.
That you guys are in the middle of a heated battle with.
I mean, it's our competition. So you can't let him vacate the title and then go to the competition, regardless if he didn't want to go or not. He was still going, and that's kind of all part of the whole unfortunate part of the thing. But as mad as I was about it, about the screw job, at the end of the day, I don't know that there was any at that point that there was any choice.
Yeah,
they had to do it, and that sucks because I'm I consider Bret a really good friend, and you hate for something like that to happen. But I know Bret wanted to stay, and it's just it's just one of those situations. Really unfortunate. Really unfortunate situations, but
and I think what sucks too is with Bret and Sean is the fact that for them to both have the stellar careers that they've had, that's the one question that they probably get more than any other question since it's happened. They probably get asked about the Montreal Screwjob more than anything else.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And you've got two guys that, like I said earlier, I consider when it comes to in-ring, it's hard to
find two better.
It's hard to convince me that there's anybody better than those two. And that's kind of what everybody talks about when it comes to those two.
And that's a shame because they were both said they had, like you said they both had such stellar careers, phenomenal careers, and you get asked about one like a political hit job
and something
kind of a
that
deal.
Both of them aren't very proud of. They're not
why
proud.
would
That
you
wasn't
be?
their best moment.
No, why would you be proud of that, right? That sucked, man. I guess it's great for the marks to talk and argue about. That's the only good thing, I guess. I don't know, but I feel bad for Sean and Bret. I mean, I'm friends with both of them.
Yeah.
I think the world of both of those guys, and I'm glad everybody's kind of in a different spot now. And, but it really sucked that had to happen.
And it sucks too because Bret left WWE, goes over to WCW, and you could see on night one, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, and that may be that if he doesn't get hurt, you never know what happens. But when your heart's not in something like that, it's tough, man.
I think he goes over there, and I think that just looking back on it, you've got a guy that's such a professional. And I mean, just the stories I've heard of WCW during that time, maybe the professionalism wasn't quite there. And I think that was another thing that, I mean, it was, he probably got there and went, oh, geez, this is a freaking circus.
Yeah.
And was like even more frustrated at that point. Like, I'm better than this. And it just seemed like there was just a lot of frustrations.
Oh yeah,
that were built up on him.
How can there not be?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure for Bret. I mean, it had to be like, it was like during he was on the Patriots dynasty team, and then he got traded to Washington, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Oh crap! And then I just think about how many great matches did we miss out on with him and Sean post Montreal, right?
Yeah.
Like, because could you imagine this? Let's say Montreal Screwjob does happen, but Bret's not leaving, and that could you have written a better storyline than that for it to be something to
oh man,
catapult? You want to talk about money?
it would have been. Yeah, Vince would have been the anti before Austin.
Yeah,
the whole
this
Austin
is
stuff,
this is a Bret Hart and Austin, or Bret Hart and Vince McMahon's.
I guess everything happens for a reason, but man, it just sucked for.
Yeah,
But what a storyline that
would have been a great.
That would have been an awesome storyline.
I mean,
but it was real.
Yeah, like what happened in reality? It's almost where if the pride could have been swallowed at that point, in hindsight, Vince probably should have ran down that hallway and been like, "How much money you want?
Yeah.
let's run this back and let's do this and let's go make a ton of money." But you've talked about it before, working with smaller guys and stuff. I think what you and Bret Hart were able to do in the ring was pretty dang special, and it doesn't get talked about as much as it should.
And I don't talk about it, and I really don't. Why? I guess there's just so many the same type questions. But I grew as a talent working with Bret, because he pushed me to limits that I didn't know that I had or that I needed to get to make that character continue to grow. Yeah. And I owe a lot of that to Bret.
Were you and him similar in the sense of, like, I feel like you take professional wrestling very serious. Mm-hmm. Were y'all the same in that, where it was like, I expect everyone in this locker room to go out there and give it the same effort I'm giving, whether you're wrestling the dark match or whether you're in the main event. Everyone's going to give the same effort, and if you don't want to give that effort, you shouldn't be in this locker room.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
He was that guy too.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he took a lot of pride in being a professional wrestler, as did I. And we burnt the midnight oil, but it was never allowed as an excuse for the next day. Yeah, we can go out and we can have fun, and we did. We partied hard, but man, don't let it affect tomorrow, because you're going to get more heat than you want.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it was then, and everybody. I shouldn't say everybody, but you knew what was expected of you.
Yeah.
And he set that example, because he was out too, and I same way. Like, I was out every night, and my crew was out every night. Everybody had to work hard. That was just it. And if you were dogging it, you know what's coming. When you come back through the curtain, you knew what was coming. So you just had to weigh it out. Like, okay, can I run? Can I stay out all night? And can I give my best effort tomorrow? And most guys learned how to do it. So
yeah. Well, I loved watching Bret wrestle, and I can only imagine what it was like to be in the ring with a guy like him. So
this is like, everything made sense. There was not really anything that Bret did that didn't make sense. You'll watch some certain things sometimes, and you'll go, "What? I don't really get what that was." Everything that Bret did was setting up the next thing that Bret was going to do.
There's purpose behind everything.
Yeah, there was a purpose behind everything. Every punch thrown, every kick thrown.
That's just next level, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's the art of what it is that we truly do.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time. People get tired of hearing it, but we at our core, what we do is storytell. Wrestling is not about wrestling moves. It's about telling a story, and we use wrestling moves to help tell the story.
We all go to dinner. And we have a phenomenal time.
Great dinner.
You've got your backpack with you.
Yeah.
And the owner of Nine Line was there, and I think you guys had some good times together as well.
What does my backpack have to do with it? Did I have
That's what you got in it, probably.
Oh, probably.
We get in the Uber. Okay, we order like a black car, like GMC Yukon Uber or whatever.
I have money.
I don't think I've ever told you this. You know what he does? We're all piled in there. It's Godfather's up front. I'm in the very back. I've got
Your brother was
Tyler
with us?
here. My brother's there, and you and my brother are like right in front of us.
What a contrast.
Yes, my brother is a straight-laced guy, right? You know what this guy does? He just lights up a joint.
Wild card.
In the Uber, just lights it up. The Uber driver has not okayed this.
This is something I learned from him. It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
He just lights up a joint, starts passing the joint.
Yeah.
And the Uber driver's like, no smoking, no smoking. He's like, oh, it's not, it won't, just a couple puffs, not a big deal.
Yeah, they sent me on a meet and greet back in the Godwin days with like Al and everyone, and it was like a dare thing, and they brought me up and in front of the kids, and I'm like, I have no idea why I'm here. All I can say is just be nice to each other and don't be a bully or anything.
Don't do drugs.
The funniest thing, I tell people this all the time, the first time I ever met you was at his Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And it was the night that they unveiled the statue. Mm-hmm. I'm backstage back there, right?
You weren't in the ring with all the cool people? I'm sorry.
It's you. I think Henry's there. I think Rikishi's standing there.
Godfather's there.
Yeah, Godfather. You guys were in a circle, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all were just sharing stories and passing around your pen that you
For
carried
autographs.
for autographs. And it gets to you. You draw off that pen, and at the same time, you bring your head up, and Stephanie comes walking up right to that group.
Yeah.
And being as sweet as she is, and she's just like, "Oh, it's so good to see you guys." And you were like, "Mom, has shown up, and you've got this, and you're holding it."
Yeah.
And Stephanie, doing what she does, is spending time with every single person in that circle, and she looks at you, and you're like,
Yeah.
hello.
Trust me, not a surprise to Stephanie. Do you know I was the very first wrestler to ever ask her out on a date?
Oh my God.
Did you know that? You know I asked her out? She said, my dad doesn't let me date wrestlers. But yeah, no, I love Stephanie.
I didn't know this. Wait.
Yeah.
You asked.
Wait.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Hold on, let's happy dad.
This is going to
Because
require.
I'm clear as shit right now.
Wait. Okay. When did you ask Stephanie out on a date?
We were at a TV. I mean, we're both like 23. I mean, me, Road Dogg, we're always like 5-6 years younger than everybody else. So we were the baby. So we're like 23. We're at TV. And I'm like, oh, dude, hey, we got tomorrow off or whatever. I was like, do you want to, just casually go see a movie or something like that? And she was like, oh, I'd love to, but my dad doesn't let me date wrestlers. So I was like,
Well, he had to,
yeah.
be true. Triple H had to kidnap her and
I'll be honest with you, though.
drug her.
That's a perfect. I don't know what their family like. What's with the?
I don't know what you're doing here.
Dude,
You're playing
I'm
bunny.
trying to squish the invisible mosquitoes that keep attacking me. Yeah, but they're great. They're two great people.
No hostility there, right?
With who? The guy I could beat his ass?
Who's that?
Hunter.
Oh,
I still want a job writing. Hunter, just kidding.
yeah.
I'm screwed now.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
What's
really
he
needs
now,
a
like a road manager or a road
no,
agent?
he runs it.
Yeah, he really needs some help right
He's
now.
the-
He's the Lanza. He's the new Lanza, right?
No.
No.
He's
Yes. I am
he's a little
very
further up,
well aware.
up the totem
Well
pole.
aware.
Bluechew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up, Dennis, at bluechew.com.
I will try.
Consult one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
Yeah. I want to try
Bluechew tablets are made in the USA.
Nice. You got to throw that radio
Best
voice
part,
on.
it's done all online. No awkward conversations.
Like this
I don't
one.
think
I
you
enjoy the awkward conversations.
Like right now.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
can take any time, day or night.
Yeah.
And you know what? 6 Feet Under's got a great special for you.
Tell
We've
me
got a
about
special for our listeners. Try Bluechew free.
Ladies and
when you
gentlemen,
use
try
our promo
Bluechew
code
free.
6 feet at checkout, just pay $5
6
shipping.
feet.
That's bluechew.com. Promo code 6 feet to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring this podcast and the Godwinns.
Just take the Bluechew and let's hit the road.
I've had like 4 of them.
It was your idea for the Rumbles,
elimination?
for the yes.
Yeah.
Shane's the one that told me. So I've always said that it was Shane and your idea.
Son of a. That's a.
So this is 2 days in a row of
This is-
Shane McMahon's name being brought up.
Wow.
So
No, so I remember it clearly. So I got there and found out, okay, because I was American Badass at that time,
Right.
and they were trying to change me heel. They were trying to turn me heel, which was like pissing up a rope. I was at that point where people weren't going to really buy it.
No.
So I was like, okay, what are we doing? And it wasn't, back then it wasn't really like it is now where, I mean, it's planned out. Everything was, it was like the day of. And I said, all right, what's my plan? What's the plan for me? Yeah, we're going to give you a lot of, some eliminations, and then such and such is going to eliminate you. Like, okay.
Hold up. So who was the original person that was going to eliminate you? It was just somebody on the card.
Yeah, it was somebody else. And I was like, hey, what do y'all think about this? And I said, no one sees this coming. Nobody. I said, what if I'm cleaning house, doing boom, boom, boom? And I said, the kid comes in and drop kicks me in the back, whatever, and he eliminates me. And everybody's looking at me like,
Yeah.
are you
crazy?
serious?
Are you crazy? Yeah.
Yeah. And not even are you crazy, because it was a great idea, but they're like, you're volunteering to get eliminated by somebody that's it's on the comeuppance, right? He's trying to come up, and I'm like, how awesome will that be? And then once he eliminates me, now, as trying to become a heel, he's got that on his resume. And now I can be that heel because he just the one person that should never have eliminated me, and now he's got to pay the piper.
Yep.
And everybody's just like, they were shocked.
The fact I never knew it came up. I didn't know that it was an idea day of.
Oh yeah.
But do you remember what happened when I got to the arena? Because they flew me, because they literally, Les Thatcher told me, go to the airport. You're going to Atlanta. I had no. I thought, okay, they're gonna have they're gonna me, the tough enough kid in the Rumble, ceremonially come out, whoop over the top rope. It would be. I thought that's all it would be. And do you remember when I get there and it's like 3:00, so I'm already late, and I come find you and Shane at the ring apron, and Shane starts breaking it down to me. And Shane says, yeah, Taker's going to clean house. He's going to get rid of the Hardys and Lita. He's going to, get rid of Lita, and it's going to be just you and him. And yeah, you're going to hit him with that drop kick in the back, and you're going to eliminate Taker. And you, deadpan, looked down at me and went, can I cuss on here?
Oh, absolutely.
You looked at, you went, what the f? And I'm not kidding. I went back to being a child, and my father getting ready to tell me to go in the garage as he's taking his belt off. I was terrified. And I'm like, I'm literally in my mind, I'm thinking Shane's telling you this for the first time. Well, I had a hell of a career. I was about to go get a cab. But then you let me in on, you kind of winked at me, and then I was like, oh, thank God. And from that moment on, you took care of me the rest of the day. did the rest of the day.
I had to have some fun because I mean, at that point in your career, you can't expect that. Like
I was in pajamas. I was wearing pajamas.
you can't expect like
How long had you been wrestling at that point?
That was my fourth match. I had wrestled Taz 3 times. I wrestled Booker once on SmackDown, and that was my 4th televised match.
yeah.
4th.
Okay.
Now here's the crazy question, and I've brought it up on my channel. What happens if I miss the drop kick? Like I've said, we're not starting a wrestling match, me and you.
Yeah.
What happens at that point?
It wouldn't have been good. I can tell you that.
I don't think you're eliminating the Undertaker.
You only had one shot.
I don't think I'm sitting here right now.
Dude, you had one shot.
Yeah.
And you hit it, so we ain't got to worry about
I
it.
think I've become an accountant or something.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been a second one. I mean, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect in the way we drew it up. So thank goodness for that.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me the we, but we know it was you. It
No,
wasn't
man,
we.
no. You had to put the drop kick on there, man.
But no, he eliminates you, and of course, you're surprised. And you turn around, you look, and you're in the ring, maybe more surprised at the look on your face.
that was the money. That's the money right there.
Everything from that point on is that, like, he comes back in the ring, and I didn't know if I kicked him too hard, because he's menacing when he when he turns it on, and you see me kind of scared. Well, that's not me being a good actor. I was like, oh,
Man, he's just thought about what he did.
yeah. Well, I'm thinking, because I remember you telling me leading into it,
Yeah.
you were like, you got to kick me. You got to lay it in. Because if I don't have a momentum to take me over, it's going to look like and I'm not going to look like So I laid it in.
Yeah. No, it was perfect, man.
Yeah. So, but then I didn't know if I kicked you too hard.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely perfect, and it was one of those moments that people were they lost their.
They did.
Yeah,
They still do.
yeah,
They still do.
It's still one of the.
Yeah. I occasionally get asked about it.
Do you?
It's literally the only thing anyone ever wants to talk about.
So tell me about when you eliminated Undertaker.
Yeah, that's every interview
I
I
was
do.
like, oh man, that big mother. I drop kicked that big. Drop kicked that son of a. Saw it coming. Man.
Too easy.
I was telling him, I had an idea. Taker, tell me if you're okay with this.
His day had already passed. It was time for Maven.
I was in the twilight of a mediocre career anyway.
You think the money shot is my reaction. I think the money shot is that shot of your face that comes up on you where you just look like, what the just happened?
Yeah. No, it's storytelling, and that's what it was on both our parts. It was the, oh no, you didn't.
Yes.
And then on your part, oh no, I didn't.
What did I do?
What did I do?
What did I do?
What have I done?
Yeah.
But your reaction set the table for what was to come.
Oh yeah. It was like I should have been embarrassed. It's his 4th match, and I just got eliminated by a contest winner.
Yes.
I mean, there was nobody calls that
Ever
calls that. I mean, oh my gosh, it was like they were bringing the lamb into the slaughter.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because
that's what everybody's
leading up
thinking.
to it, you like you all said, you were cleaning house. I mean, no one could touch you in the ring at that moment.
And I think King even plays it perfectly when my music hits, and you kind of you did that kind of giggle and like, oh, okay. And King plays his role perfectly. Like, this is going to get ugly quick.
Yeah.
So it was just, but then again, I think that's what I think draws people in and makes people love this business.
Yes, yeah, and all the things that we did, all those facial, and that's the whole thing that I always preach about. That's the storytelling aspect of it. It is being able to know the expression to put on your face, the know how to react to being eliminated by some rookie. I mean, I could have deadpanned or whatever it could have been, but this is like that's the they're reading, and they feel it. They feel that, and if it's done correctly. Absolutely. And I'm really proud of that works so well.
I love the fact of now knowing that it was your idea.
I'm gonna call Shane, man.
Moving forward, I will correct myself whenever I get asked about it.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
our great sponsor here, Artisan Grange. We've talked about them for a while now. These guys got a little CBD pouch, 5 milligrams, great flavors.
Which flavor is this?
This is the wintergreen. So if you're trying to come off dip or anything like that, you gotta have to cut. These are brand new cans. Artisan Grange help you out. Ooh, look at you with your knife. I've seen you sitting over there with that today.
I thought I might need it.
Artisan Grange is a company started when a group of former tobacco dippers wanted a dip alternative that actually tasted like tobacco. So they decided to make one on one condition. It supports American farmers. No matter what your taste, hemp dip satisfies without tobacco, nicotine, or fake fillers. Each pouch contains 5 milligrams of full spectrum CBD from the hemp. The community of hemp dippers who have switched from tobacco and other alternatives is a proud group of dippers who have pride in dipping as a simple pleasure again. One you can do because you want to, not because you have to, and supporting the American tradition of farm quality. So, thank you, Artisan Grange, for sending us this product. You gotten in there yet?
I can't get in.
What is? Man. You can tell you're from the West Coast over here in Texas.
The West Coast. The Southwest Coast.
It smells good. Smells like a wintergreen.
Did you get one?
Yeah, it tastes pretty good.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, thank you, Artisan Grange, once again for supporting 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway.
Thank you, Artisan Grange.
So anyway, me and him are making out behind the sorry. I'll tell you, we've been all over the world, and the toughest border security is Canada. You don't around. It's tough. So we're coming back. It's just me and him driving, coming back from somewhere in Canada. And they had pulled us over, and they went through the car and checked us out and everything like that, and brought us in the room and all that stuff, and everything was okay. And then we get back in the car, and we're driving like a couple miles down, and I reach into my sock. During this whole time, I had one. I pulled it out. He was pissed. He was like, "Well, you better fucking fire it up then, I guess." We went through all that shit. Yeah, I that was one of the dad looks too. But anyway, the funny story is we're coming
Daddy,
back.
did you ever call him Daddy Taker?
No,
He
didn't?
called me
Okay,
Daddy
just-
a lot.
that sounds weird.
Why are we making
That
out?
sounds weird, baby.
Daddy Taker.
We're coming back from Orlando. My cousin had these hookups at these casitas at this awesome hotel. They were like little bungalows and shit. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, he knows where this is going. And so we're coming back, and I have the Dragonfly. We'll just use Dragonfly as a code word for LSD. LSD. So anyway, him and Henry take him, and then I wait. I'm driving, and I wait till we get back there and everything. So then we go to the dollhouse. Mm-hmm. We go to the dollhouse, and we're having some drinks and everything. And in the dollhouse is this guy looks right out of Central Casting for an 80s hair metal band. He's got like
But
purple,
70.
yeah, purple, spandex and the hair and everything. And Taker goes, "I bet that dude's cool. I want to hang out with him." And then time goes by, and then he finally comes over, and then Taker's like, "Hey, what's up?" And the guy's like, "Hey guys, my name's," and it just turned out to be just the biggest pain in the ass that we ever had. Yeah. So then we go back to the room, and they had these little walk over a little pond into the hotels. And back then, we would engage in hotel wrestling. Not like you saw in the back of magazines back in the day, you know what I mean? But yeah. Do you remember those with the girls? Yeah, of course you do.
You're aging yourself, buddy.
Yeah. So we're in there, and Henry goes, and I'm like, okay.
That's the sign for let's get him.
So Mark unlocks his door, and as soon as he unlocks his door, we bum rush him. and like just get on him, just start wailing on him and everything like that. And then,
That's actually a separate story, but go ahead.
Is it?
Finish.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Shit, I'm on mushrooms. What do you want me?
What do you expect?
Yeah, what do you expect? And so then we run back to our room and hide and everything. And then fucking door gets kicked in, and Cool Hand Luke comes walking in and commences to whooping the shit out of us. Dumped us over, pulled the mattress over, and like trapped under there, and we're just all laughing our ass off. And I'll never get this as we walk out, and you know how much minibar food and stuff is.
Yeah.
Right? So as he walks out, it was like a movie. Of course, this all could be in my head. But he walks to the door and turns and looks at us and opens our minibar and just shakes everything out of it. Like $300, $400 worth of crap. Yeah. It was funny.
So
I feel like we had 6
Now tell
stories.
the
that
real
was
story.
that was 2 stories actually. Those were different. So the part in Tampa, the detached casitas there at the Hyatt. That was after leaving the bar with the guy with the out of central casting, right? So their Dragonfly has kicked in.
Okay.
Now, to get back to the casitas, they're right. You were right. They're little koi ponds that you had to walk over a little wooden bridge. Well,
Oh, is this Henry?
yes,
okay.
this is so. They're also the little tree, not the little tree frogs, the little ones are everywhere. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was mating season or what, but they're jumping and chirping and everything. Well, Mark trips. He's tripping big time, and he gets on top of the bridge. It's just a little bridge, like a 3-foot bridge, and he has got a death grip on the bridge because these frogs are attacking him.
Yeah. Freaking out.
This one's running around like, trying to grab.
whoa.
He's
I mean,
trying to
that's-
catch him. He's trying to catch him. Mark's terrified of him, and I'm trying to get both of these big
Yeah.
bitches into their rooms.
Yeah.
And then then I did.
Then-
Then I did.
Attack us.
That's when I got the
That's
mini
when you
bar.
attacked us.
The other thing, yeah, when they attacked me, when I was going into my room, they regretted that one because they attacked me and then they tried to run. They tried to run back to their room. Their
Giggling
room,
like friggin' 12-year-olds.
yeah, these are grown men,
Yeah.
and they
300
thought they
pound
got into
man.
their room, but I was right behind them. It was like whack. And then it was on.
Was there ever any moments where you thought to yourself, why do I hang out with
No, I just came with
It's
the
one of
I
those
came
things.
with the furniture.
It was one of those deals like you just had to be there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
It was a lot of fun most of the time. And yeah, there were
Until the daddy looks.
until the daddy looks come. When the daddy
Yeah.
looks come, then it's like
We're done.
I'll pack my bags.
we'll yeah. That's what he said when he wrecked my motorcycle.
When
Yeah.
he finally looked at me, I'll pack my bags.
It's time for me to go.
I'm gonna leave.
I just wrecked your motorcycle. It's time for me to go.
We only just put it on eBay. Literally.
I was just gonna sell it.
Yeah.
First bike I'd ever, when I finally got out of debt from getting into this business, that's the first thing that I'd ever bought myself, like new. My first new motorcycle.
And he
Yay,
wrecked it. And you
Tex.
wrecked it.
Yay me! Hey, great. In hindsight, great story. In hindsight, they're
we all
great
lived,
stories.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
We all lived. It was
and apparently, I took one of the best backdrops in the history
greatest
of
backdrop
wrestling.
ever. I mean, I'd never seen a man that big fly, take that kind of back and bounce and no sell it. Popped right up to his feet.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. I'm like, I don't give a whether you're not
Didn't
going to
look
be
at me.
okay.
Did not look at me. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's real friendship right there. And that's
guess.
what you
I
guys have developed over the.
That's a stretch.
I don't want to put him over, but yeah, he's been there when I've needed him the most. My mom got cancer, and I had to spend the last 2 months, with her every day. All the medicine. She couldn't take any more medicine. She would just lay in bed moaning, and I'm laying. I didn't sleep for a while or anything. But whenever he would, call and talk to her, it would like make her day. And You're the best, dude.
Have you ever seen that speech, the Mark Henry speech in the ring? I'm sure you have. That Mark Henry speech in the ring.
Oh, it's awesome.
Where
When
he gets
was-
emotional.
Yeah, when
And then he
was-
snaps out of it and just.
I was going to bring that up too.
I watched that. And I started like, because I felt everything he was feeling. He didn't have to say a word. It was just, you could see, and I could relate to it as a veteran, not even as an athlete, of just like, I'm hanging it up and it's time, but I don't want to. you know?
no.
Part of me doesn't want to, but I'm also just so grateful. And it was all these things, range of emotions.
It was one of the greatest in-ring promos ever because it played with your emotions, and then it was
And it was real.
It was real, but it was a swerve. But it was. I meant to when he was in here earlier. I meant to do that, but I know exactly what you're talking
You could
about.
use it for promo in that episode. I mean, honestly, like
Yeah.
it is. Oh man, it's so that thing. Because I'd met him, I think only once before that, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, I know this guy, you know. And now I've got to spend a little bit of time with him, and it just helped me understand someone that's just larger than life, literally, and
no doubt,
and figuratively. But it's just like wow, when you see those kind of things, it just really hits home, feels personal.
Do you I mean, a lot of folks that are in other professional sports. Do you think that pro wrestling is one of the hardest ones when it comes to transitioning?
It's hard to say, man, because everybody has whatever you do, like at those levels. I mean, you have passion, and when that passion for something is gone, it's gone. And I think the one thing that wrestling, unfortunately, offers is a lesser version. Like I had my run with WWE, and it gets to a point where I can't perform at the level of WWE, but I can go to Pikeville, Kentucky for some independent small town promotion. I can be the big fish in a very small barrel kind of thing, and you end up going years and years on living off of the equity that you built up, where I don't think in other major sports event, like, there's only the NFL, there's only Major League Baseball, there's only the NBA. There's no track down where wrestling gives you a chance to still be something just at a lesser version of it. And I think it's good for some guys because wrestlers are notorious for not saving their money, or that used to be.
Yeah.
They're much better now because of,
Same with all athletes and veterans.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but there's programs now in place trying to teach guys how to do, with their money, so that they don't end up at the end of their career and then figure out like, okay, now I'm going to have to go to some small armory and sell my 8x10s
for
at intermission.
$20.
So, and then you end up doing things like the movie The Wrestler. That's a prime example.
That's my favorite movie.
I'm
not kidding. It's my literal favorite movie.
That's a prime example of somebody who, was at the top and then kind of worked his way back down and just didn't know when to say when.
Mark, I got to start doing better, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to start doing better. I got to start exercising. I got to start eating better. I just got to start making some changes in my life. I keep saying this.
How long are we going to talk about?
It's been almost a year, but I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna this holiday season, I'm gonna do better.
You're going to do better
I'm
in the
gonna do
holiday
better.
season.
I'm gonna do better during the
You're
holidays.
going to pick the holidays to do better.
It seems like a good time.
Okay, hey,
This
bro,
time,
hey.
it's better than ever. It's
right.
better than ever.
All right.
And Magic Spoon's gonna help me. I'm gonna just eat Magic Spoon from sun up to sundown. I think that's what's gonna do it. Our friends over there, they've got great product. You keep it in your house. You don't let your kids eat it.
No.
You're
No,
just
my
eating it
kid-
by
no,
yourself
No, I
at
hide
night.
it. No, I hide it because they would eat it, and they can get away with eating regular cereal. But
And everybody knows about the cereal, but not everybody knows about the treats here, man.
the treats.
Magic Spoon. They turned their popular cereal into high protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars.
See, I'd have to have those because actually, my kids don't like milk. Well, one of my kids doesn't like milk,
Yeah.
so she'd eat that up quick.
Oh, yeah. So it's just Magic Spoon's brand new treats are delicious and have already become the favorite for an after gym snack, pre-workout,
Yeah.
all of those.
Yeah, I don't know how they make it taste so good with zero sugars, 4 net carbs, and loaded with protein,
Yeah.
and it tastes good.
It actually tastes good.
Yeah, like I don't.
And I think that's the one thing about it. When people see this stuff, they go, "Oh, it's probably going to taste like the box that it came in."
Right.
But
No,
in
you're
all
pleasantly
reality,
surprised.
You're pleasantly surprised. Absolutely.
How they do that?
Not mine. I have no idea, but they
Is
do
that
it.
the magic part?
That's the magic part. That's the magic part. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa. There's so many more, though, and Magic Spoon's brand new treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter.
That's got your name written all over
Bro,
it,
we
brother.
ran through these.
What? You got a mouse in your pocket? All I
And-
saw was an empty box.
For our fans and listeners, get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/6feet. Or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/6feet for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream.
Hold on to the dream. It's going to turn your world around,
It's
brother.
going to turn your world around. Thank you, Magic Spoon.
Is that chant really annoying? Huh? The UF up chant? Is that the worst chant?
I hadn't heard it that often. No. I mean,
What's the?
I remember. Go ahead. Ask me.
No, please.
I thought you were going to ask me the spot that
I was going to ask something different, but I want to hear what you were going to say.
I thought you were going to ask like.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
What have you effed up? Well, I mean, I've effed up a lot of them, but where it really looked like a super botch. It was early on. Bruce Pritchard was still He was still my manager, Brother Love, and I was doing old school, and whoever had wrestled before me must have had a ton of oil on, right? So I'm walking on the top rope, and I put my right foot down, and it just goes, it slides down, and I fall, I nut myself. And it's TV, and of course, when you're young and you're getting a little bit of a push, you're enraged instantly. You're just enraged and embarrassed. And I remember trying to play it, and you try to play it off, and you can't because people are laughing and everything else. And especially with that character, it was like, because that character didn't make mistakes, right? It was just a killer. And so I'm trying to gather myself, and Bruce runs around to me real quick. He goes, "Do it again." And I'm like, F you, I ain't doing it again. He goes, "Do it again. They'll cut it in post. It'll look great." And that was the first time that I knew the
realized.
magic of WWE TV. So anyway, I get in there, I create a spot, put myself in the exact same place that we were. I did it again. Boom. Do the old school. Watch it when it comes out on Superstars or whatever it was. It was perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
And nobody knew.
No one knew.
Wow.
Other than the people that were there. But I was
You
just
effed up.
Yeah.
You effed up.
Yeah.
Were you getting those chants that night?
Well, it wasn't.
Wasn't that an ECW thing?
Yeah, I think it started with ECW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more of just a kind of an all-out laughter and
Yeah.
and ooh,
Yeah.
it was extremely embarrassing, but later on the you effed up chant started, and it was,
Is "This Is Awesome" the best chant? Like, is that like that? Ooh,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
we're doing something
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
So here's my problem with This Is Awesome. It's starting to get
Overdone.
overused.
But the crowd wants to put themselves over. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
I think that's what it is too.
yeah.
I think the
That's
crowd,
well said, yeah.
the crowd wants to chant it, and I think even in matches that I'm watching and I'm going, it's a good match.
Yeah.
But this isn't awesome. I mean, I've seen awesome, and this isn't. Yeah.
You're having a battle with it. This is not awesome.
Yeah, like,
you want
I-
to see awesome.
Yeah, like,
you want to
I'm not-
Starcade.
oh man, let me tell you,
They should be chanting, "This is the best match of the night," because that's what they really mean.
Yes,
Like,
and I mean, I think that's what they're really mean. But I think
Yes.
that now it's like they want that moment as well, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this. We're 2 minutes into the match.
Yeah.
And someone just did an elbow off the top rope. This isn't awesome yet. Like, we haven't gotten there.
It's like kicking out of finishes. Like it used to be, that used to be very judicious.
Yeah.
And now it's like every match on every show, everybody kicks out everybody's finishes and
4 times.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's starting to get a little overdone with that part. And everything's just, and like you said, I think it's just the fans wanting to get maybe a
I
little over.
appreciate the "This is awesome" chant when there's the stare down of like, these guys have never touched before.
Right.
Like, I was at WrestleMania 18. You had a great match there. Imagine, well, I don't know. Rock Hogan with a "This is awesome" chant wouldn't have been nearly as good as the moment we got there.
Yeah.
The moment of just them looking at each other.
Yeah, I think there's
looking off.
sometimes where even like the fans need to understand when to not chant. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's even a moment of like just soak this in for a second, like we got
Yeah.
with Hogan and Rock.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah,
just
that
soak
was
that in.
that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, so soak that in for a minute. You don't have to chant. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
and enjoy this moment that you're looking at and you're getting to see here. But then also what they did with, I mean, being able to the going back and forth cheering for Hogan and all that. I mean, that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the same thing with young talent, teaching them how to soak up a moment like that.
Yeah.
Because your instincts a lot of times are, oh man, they're excited, they're coming, let's go. Take a breath, soak it in, and enjoy this, because it should be easy now, but they was like,
I think Cody's doing
they
a good
wanna
job
go.
of that right now. Cody's doing a good job of that and allowing he's taking a moment before.
Yeah.
It seems like every match and stuff. And
You know who else is doing it a lot is John Cena. When Cena comes out now, there's like this look of appreciation on his face.
Yeah.
He comes out, he like looks at the crowd like he really takes in the moment now, because he knows there's only a handful of them left.
Yeah.
did you do that too? I mean,
Yeah.
during those last handful of years, was it? Let me take an extra minute here.
Yeah, there was always a moment I took before I went out, did a little prayer, just asking, let me get through one more, and then taking a little bit longer but on my entrances, and the way the Undertaker would, but just kind of soak it in and like, man, this could be it. This, kind of a deal.
Was it backstage for those matches, towards the end of your career? Was it kind of unspoken, maybe, of everything's on a time crunch, of course, for television? Was it more, were they looking at you just saying, if he wants to take an extra 5 minutes, he's allowed to take an extra 5 minutes?
It wasn't. Yeah. Well, I mean, I had that for a while. I mean, I try not to abuse that, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think most of your top guys, if they feel like they need a few extra minutes, that it's worth it.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But especially for me at the end, it was making sure that I got my flowers and stuff like that on the end. But
Yeah. And to do something for the fans too. I mean, especially with your entrances and exiting the ring as well. I think those two moments are very special for fans, especially for you. I mean, what you did in the ring was amazing, but I think that a lot of times your entrances were always over the top, right? And it was always just very special. And when the lights would go out, there's no other moment like that. Were you having those thoughts going into those matches, like, I need to make this entrance the best entrance I've ever done before, like for the fans.
No,
I need to do
not
this.
that it needed to be the best, but it needed to be what they expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut anything short or didn't, because at the end, especially with my health and everything, I was really cognizant of how I was feeling and making sure, like, all right, my walk needs to be at this pace. I need to make sure that I'm doing this the right way and not trying to hurry up and get down to the ring or take too long, or if I'm limping too much or whatever. It was more making sure that they were getting the Undertaker that they were expecting to see. So,
Yeah. So that appreciation part, that's something like you said with John Cena and everything. It's
yeah,
like,
you could see it. You can see it with John.
Yeah.
He's definitely soaking it in because he knows. He knows, like.
You think he gets another title run?
I think that probably depends on him, whether he has the time. He obviously deserves it, but I think it basically just depends on him.
But I don't think he's going to do it if he can't go full time.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. No,
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do a Roman Reigns type of thing where he wrestles only at the premium live events, things like that. But I mean, I couldn't see.
He could do like what The Rock did, 3-4 months where he's showing up every week.
Yeah.
Could take that kind of break.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's put a lot into it, and I think whatever he wants to do, I think.
Yeah. But I think he also just loves the business enough and has enough respect for the business that he's going to do the right thing by the business, right?
They're
And-
announcing him as the greatest of all time. Are you going, guys, come on.
I don't care.
we all know it's Ric Flair.
Me and Bret were really close, out of the ring.
Okay.
I always Bret always carried himself, conducted himself like when he was a champion. I mean, he conducted himself in that manner. There was no doubt that he was not the world champion. We had a lot of good times together, like overseas and places like that. But one of the greatest things about working with Bret for me, because in the 90s, everything was about the character. It was always setting that character and building that character. And Bret was wrestling. He was a wrestling purist, right? And he wasn't real gimmicky. In fact, when he talks about me, it's funny because he always calls me like doing the Frankenstein character, right? Don't worry, Bret. You didn't hurt my feelings.
Never got under your skin.
It never got under my skin one bit. But that's his analogy of that character. It's Frankenstein. I understand the analogy. But when I got to work, when I got the chance to start working with Bret, and it's I think it started in Europe, working over there. Mm-hmm. It allowed me. Well, it didn't allow me. Because he was the champion, and I loved the way he worked, his style and everything. Like I had the character down, right? And I was like, man, I want to be more. I want to be known more than just this character. And Bret, he worked as much as he could within himself to get the character over. But Bret had wrestling matches.
Yeah.
So it allowed me that opportunity, which I wanted, to be able to showcase the fact that I could work. Yeah, I can do this character, and I can make you believe this character. But I also wanted to be known as a worker. Like I wanted my name. I didn't want to be known. Oh man, that was one of the greatest characters ever. I also wanted to be known as one of the great workers. And Bret, working with him, allowed me to do that. Because his work was solid, and he was only going to go so far within the range of the gimmick and everything.
Yeah,
and I like that because it forced me to figure out how to have good wrestling matches and be in character too. And once we figured it out and we got a formula of kind of the things that work with us and the things that didn't work with us, man, we had some really killer matches leading up to that match. But there was a match that we had in the UK. Now, at this time, now Bret is a heel in the States, but everywhere else, Bret's still Bret Hart, and he's a babyface. So we go, oh, man, it was either Manchester or Birmingham, and I wish I could remember, but I don't remember exactly which. It's one of those two cities we have this match. And man, now this is a non-televised match, so it even gives me a little bit more liberty to work and stretch that character. But I think we went 45 minutes in a house show, and we took this crowd on a ride that you would not believe. It was one of those situations where, like, 1 minute it's let's go Taker, and then the next minute it's let's go Bret. And then there's one half of the building yelling Undertaker, and then the other half of the building is yelling Bret Hart back and forth. It was just an emotional roller coaster that we took the audience on, and man, did we have it was one of my best matches, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
And this was a house show.
And it's just a house show. And we had just, like I said, I guarantee we went 45 minutes if we went 10. It was just, and we were in a flow, and we had each other's timing, and we thought alike. We thought a lot alike as far as it was fun. And then we get to the SummerSlam match, and by then we're dialed in.
How long had y'all been working together? I mean, probably off and on a good bit, but I mean, like, how long do you think it took for y'all to sync up? Because I think of Bret Hart, and I just think of this tactician inside the ring, right? And now you've got, early on, especially with you, just this character that's no-selling a lot and everything else. And it's like, I felt like you probably stretched Bret just as much as he stretched you when
Probably
it came
so.
to, Bret now has to figure out. I watched a match that y'all had Madison Square Garden in '92, where it was like he would do things and you were, you'd fall out and you would just sit right back up immediately.
Oh, in '92, yeah.
There was a moment where he's climbing up to the top ropes, and he did something that I thought was just perfect for who he is. He did something just absolutely perfect. He gets up to the top rope and he turns back, and you have now set up, and he just sits on the top rope and just drops his head. And it's like, that is so good right there. That moment and you took your time as well, of you sit up and you just kind of look over, and he gets to the top rope. He thinks he's got you finally.
Right.
And he turns around and sees you, and the frustration, and he's like, oh, and he goes to start climbing on the top of the
I remember that. I remember that. That's just storytelling. That is what at the essence of what we do. That is just great storytelling, and to see, because that's not how Bret worked, but Bret was smart enough in the moment to show the frustration of, like, what do I have to do?
The man of 1,000 moves or whatever.
Right. What do I have to do to keep this monster down? And it's such a simple thing, though, when you think about it, but how much it meant and how much it stuck out to you.
Yeah.
And that's the key, and that's one of the key elements to being a great storyteller. It's not the moves that you do. The moves are cool and they're vital to the match, but it's those in-between transitions that make everything tie together and makes the story. And you could feel Bret's frustration.
He was so frustrated because he's done everything to you.
He's worked
with everyone else that he's wrestled. Everyone else that he's wrestled, they're done. They're not getting up, and you just kept getting up. And it was, instead of him just running over kicking you, it was,
Yeah.
Jesus, why? What's up with this guy?
Right.
Why can't, what is the next move that I can do to even do anything? How can I even do anything to this man? That Madison Square Garden in '92 is just, to me, it was a phenomenal match on both ends, because you were a no selling SOB at that time.
Oh
right?
yeah. No. Yeah. 92. I didn't sell anything.
And you're in there with, pound for pound, the greatest wrestler of all time. And
Yeah.
and he is so frustrated. But I think that stretched Bret, though, as much as it was, especially in '92. I mean, you're still early in that character.
Right.
And you're developing that character. And he is Bret Hart in '92,
Right.
but he had to dig into a different part of his toolbox as well, I think, which is.
And I think that's cool, and I think that's one of the interesting elements of matchmaking and good storytelling is making people sometimes making them get out of their comfort zone and doing things a different way, just to show how important a match is, what it's going to take to win. Because you see, a lot of times when you watch matches, you'll see the same thing over and over and over, the same moveset, the same deal, the same thing. But when, like you said, things that you've seen him drop people with and keep them down, now it's not working. Now you feel the struggle. Like, wow, whether you're an Undertaker fan or you're a Bret Hart fan, like, dude, what is Bret going to have to do to keep Undertaker down? And then when he does that, when he shows you the frustration that you're thinking, this is like, man, that's magic. That is the magic of what it is we do, and it's core. And that was in '92. So by the time we get to '97, I mean, we've had several matches, and now we've figured it out. And I remember one of the great things that he did. With me, he would do the figure 4 on the post, and then fall back, which was one of those things that allowed me not to. I would have sold it differently as the American Badass, but even as the Undertaker, it allowed me to show a little bit of pain and show that I'm in trouble, and it showed the desperation that Bret was in to figure out however he was going to keep me down. Bret was really, really creative as far as putting matches together, and we had this. Normally in that situation, Bret would have led that match. He was tenured more so than me.
Yeah.
But we really had a really good chemistry and a camaraderie that it was always kind of like, okay, for me, it's like, what can I do for you? Within the confines of what I do, what can I do for you that's going to showcase your talents and your deal? And he was the same, he was the same thing with me. He was like, okay, you're Frankenstein. How does mortal Bret Hart drop Frankenstein kind of deal? And so we always worked hard for each other. Yeah. And then by the time, again, once we got to that SummerSlam, it was like we had it dialed.
It's the holiday season. Mm-hmm. People are gonna probably eat a little too much, maybe put a few pounds on.
Oh yeah,
I've been known to do that.
Yeah, you started early.
Yeah, I started back in like March.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this time of the year, you don't have to be terrible. You can still work out. You can still try to get that workout in. Mm-hmm. Something that's going to help you, give you a little bit of motivation, is that first Phorm ignition. That right there, buddy. That'll get you off the couch.
That'll get you off the couch.
And that will get you in the gym.
Yep. And this is definitely bulking season.
So bulking season.
So yeah, you got to use stuff. You have to use stuff like ignition to get you going, man. And first Phorm, man, they hit it right on the mark with this. You get a little bit of that in your system, a full belly, you're going to want to hit the gym.
And we don't promote anything that we actually don't believe in. This is something you've said off camera and everything else. Their pre-workout.
Oh, it's
legit.
Oh, it is legit. There are many times where I have to go in deep because I don't feel like training. I don't have to anymore if I don't want to,
And that makes it tough.
and it does make it tough. So and I'm not sometimes I have super discipline, and sometimes not so much. But I tell you what, if I get in the ignition, well, I'm gonna work out.
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I got to burn that off. And no, First Phorm, First Phorm definitely got it right there. And what a product!
Absolutely. They've been with us essentially since the beginning. Great folks over there that make great products, great human beings, great Americans. We love everything about what they're doing. This holiday season, it's fine. If you want to eat that extra piece of pumpkin pie, that's fine. But just remember,
What about some white meat turkey? Like the late night, why does it got to be pumpkin pie?
I love me some good pumpkin pie, boy. Let me tell you something.
Might we digress there?
Oh, and the casseroles, man alive. I'm not a turkey guy.
You're not a turkey guy.
I like turkey sandwiches.
What's
I
your
don't
meat
like
of
eating
choice?
ham. Give me a ham.
Figured.
Oh man, my ankles will be swollen by like Saturday from all the ham I eat.
You swallow all that sodium.
All
Got
the
you
sodium.
Blowed up like a puffer fish.
It's bad. It's bad. It's to a point where like I have to. So I buy a ham for myself for the whole weekend. I'll cook it at the house and I'll eat the whole thing myself.
I don't need to know all
Yeah.
that.
So it's pretty bad. So, but come Monday,
Take that home with you.
After Thanksgiving,
Take that home with you.
I'm going to start my First Phorm regiment and get back in the gym and get myself in shape. That's the only way I can do it.
I normally hoard all the ignition when we have it here on set. Take that with you.
Take this one with me.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate First Phorm. Guys, go check out First Phorm. The link is in our description. And get yourself some great products. They got all kinds of stuff over there. They got beef sticks. They got the pre-workout. They got the proteins. They got everything you want. Some
Protein's
really-
solid too.
Yeah.
Really,
Really good flavors there. The stuff works. Go check them out. Thank you, First Phorm, for supporting our podcast. We appreciate it.
The night Dusty won the belt, when we were babies against Harley, me and my brother after the show climbed underneath the chairs and took the program and put it in Dusty's blood on the floor, and we still have it, and I had him sign it and everything. Yeah. So wrestling.
Wait a minute. You have a program
Program from
Dust-
79, 8.
with Dusty's blood,
Dusty's blood.
and then you saved it.
Saved it.
And then later on, when you met Dusty,
Yes.
you had him sign it.
Yes. So all we need is a ovum, and we can grow our own Dusty. I have the DNA.
You have Dusty's
We can make a better one. I don't think.
I don't think you can make a
yeah,
better
one. I think
no,
he's gonna make a better one.
He's my all-time. He's my all-time favorite wrestler.
Yeah. Do you know who is this?
Yes, I do.
Who?
Ric Flair.
Wow. He watches
Tell
the
you,
show.
I try. I'm the nicest guy in the world. I get along with everybody. He's just rubbed me the wrong way so many times. So like when I was in WCW at 19, he was a dick, and he continued to be a dick. You just saw the video at the restaurant.
Yeah. I'm talking about in the ring. In the ring, I love what he did
In the ring, he's number 3. Yes.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Shawn Michaels, Ricky Steamboat, and then Ric Flair. Are
Ricky
you?
Steamboat.
Are you?
Yeah. I have a big argument about that.
Tell me.
Kidding me?
Who do you think? Flair's
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, those are all pretty fair hands.
That's the
And
Ricky.
you got to work with all of them. And so did you work with Steamboat? Wasn't he the best?
Smooth as silk.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't people put him on the Mount Rushmore more?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, no, I think it was just. I mean, he was an excellent worker, but he just never got to that level that Flair did. I mean, he could work. I mean, his work was.
And don't get me wrong, no disrespect to Ric Flair's ability and wrestling and everything, phenomenal. But
he's going to light me up, right?
yeah,
He's going to light me up.
this is funny. You can beat. I mean, I beat the crap out of each other, all that stuff and everything. The only thing he does not like is chops. And I think I remember when you had that match with Blair, you went up to him and you were like, "You got 3."
I did.
You told him you got 3.
You got 3.
You got 3 chops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up letting you have more, but it was just setting the tone.
Because you were scared
Yeah.
of him.
Huh?
Because you were scared of him.
I was scared of him.
Scared of Flair, yeah.
Scared of the
Him and
Flair.
Coco. Dude, I can only apologize so much. Seriously, come on.
That's been a topic of I didn't all these years with the Coco thing. I never thought that I really the
Hurt him that
tombstone.
bad?
I didn't hurt him that bad, obviously, but the tombstone did look a little uglier than I
Yeah,
remember.
it was ugly because you had one arm. I'll tell you the most painful move I've ever taken in my life. The Sundome did a run-in as a bad guy against you and your tombstone. But this was all my fault because I love him so much. I wanted it to look phenomenal. So instead of hugging him, I just let my arms go. So when he tombstoned me, I went right down on my thing. He was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "That was awesome." And I was like,
I have so many questions here now.
so many questions.
Just go ahead, man.
So many
Throw them out.
Okay.
Throw them out. Watch out for the birds, though.
All right, we're gonna try to stay. You're seeing things now. All right. You go from.
Here we go.
You're very cold, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. You go from bouncing at Odyssey and Mons Venus,
Didn't we try this once already?
which I've heard.
Okay.
I've heard of those places. I've never been to them. You go from there to WCW.
No, I went in Florida. Luckily, in 88, 89, Florida Championship Wrestling was an actual territory.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 19 years old, and I'm in the locker room with Dusty Rhodes, Steve Kern, Mike Graham, Blackjack Mulligan, Dick Slater. It was.
I bet they kicked the shit out of you.
Oh, my God.
No, do you know who did? And this got me over so much. The Nasty Boys, notorious bullies and everything. They beat the crap out of me for so long. And then the first singles match I had with Slater, I went out there with him and I fought him and he came back and he was like, "Thank you for fighting me." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, people get scared with me in there and then I have to eat them up." I was like, "I just thought you were supposed to get you and Brody. I just thought you were supposed to get your ass kicked,
Right.
for years." So the Nasty Boys, through their bulliness,
They killed
kind
you.
of made me, tougher. Like then I went to Japan because Tarzan Goto would kick me in the head so hard that it left his shoe prints on my forehead, and he thought that was hilarious. So he brought me over for FMW when it started. And at that time, it was like Onita and that. It was semi-wrestling, and then there was shoot guys. So they put this 19-year-old right out of college kid in with Olympic Sambo champion, speaks no English. Got in there, tried to do some stuff, didn't do it, and then he just starts chucking me. I'm like, all right, I got to do something. So I rolled out of the ring, and I was selling a little bit, and he came. I grabbed a chair. I beat the shit. I kept hitting him with the chair until they disqualified the match. And then I got in the back. I'm like, all right, I'm either going home or getting my ass kicked. He comes back bloody. He was like, "Oh, that was so good. Thank you so much." Was that racist that I did the voice?
The voice?
Yeah.
It was a semi-racist accent.
Yeah. So that, and then I did Memphis I was Leatherface and Tex, and then WCW. Dusty got me dark match and hired me and Henry, Shanghai Pierce, Tex and Shanghai, and then Shanghai went up a year before me. I went
That's
to
Mark.
Japan.
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay.
I went to Japan and Puerto Rico. That's where I met MVP. And then they brought me right back up. So
When did y'all? I mean, was Memphis when you guys?
No, I didn't meet him until after I met him in a bar.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see him again until he came up as Phineas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And the first night I'm there, it was the Rumble, and I'm in the locker room, and it was Mabel did that sit out on Henry and hurt Henry really bad. So I'm in the locker room, and you are going friggin' off on Mabel. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, that was not a good night for Mabel.
No? Or career. I love the story about the Matt. I was like, he said, we're bringing Mabel in. I'm like, why the are we bringing Mabel in? He goes, so we don't have to work with him. I went, you're a genius, dude.
That's why I run the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, and battle royal situations like a Rumble is.
Yeah.
You don't do things like that. You don't
Shoot 'em off the
splash.
rope.
You don't shoot people off.
Yeah.
That was what was so funny about the Owen rib in the battle royal.
Yeah.
He would shoot somebody off and then just leave, and then somebody comes off. The battle royals, Rumbles,
Especially like overseas battle royals.
they're clusters.
Yeah.
They're overseas. Back in the day,
Do you remember
it was
the
just
daisy chain?
It was no, I don't. I don't remember it that at all. But it was an excuse for ha. Yeah. Silliness but you just you don't shoot people off, and you don't splash, and you don't do things like that. Now in a Rumble, when it gets down to 2 or 3, that's a whole different. It turns into more of a traditional match.
No, none of my battle royals or Rumbles ever
Got that far?
got that far.
So you end up getting to WWF, WWE, and you go there with the intention of you and Henry Godwin are going to form this tag team, right?
When I was in Memphis, Lawler pulled me in into one of the little offices and said tomorrow they're flying you up and they're gonna bring you up with your partner. You need to go buy overalls and that, and then I went, and then it was Rumble, and then the next day we made our debut on Raw, and the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history. The Godwinns
But
were
yeah,
born.
The Godwins were born.
I mean, I came into, like, if you want to talk BSK,
Who put your card on the table? That's still a mystery to me.
I came in with kind of a leg up because Henry was already, hanging with him and everything. But Yoko sponsored me. It was and at that time, and he knows, back then I drank a little bit. Yeah, and it was like I had the only real initiation into BSK. Remember, we were in that little town in the middle of nowhere, Junior, Savio, everybody, and they were like, "You got to drink this whole bottle of Jack." I'm like, "Oh no, a whole bottle of Jack."
When he's usually drinking Wild Turkey.
I just had the Traveler, Chris Stapleton's new bourbon, not bad and
bad.
cheap. Yeah.
those are two good things, right? Good and cheap.
Good and
Goddamn
cheap.
right.
Go a long way.
Yeah, go a long ways for you. So you come up, you and Henry, y'all start the Godwins, all right? Henry's already running with you, and he's already part of BSK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So was Yoko just a bad decision maker to make this happen? Or did he just have a bad judgment?
Horrible.
He had horrible judgment.
Horrible.
See, this is what happens when you get by yourself and you've had too much to drink, and then somebody comes on and is nice. And then, he's like, well, he's friends with Mark. He's got to be okay,
He's
right?
gonna be a good guy.
Little did Yoke know.
Yeah.
All the baggage that was going to be.
But it's fun baggage.
I've always loved wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler. I was a backyard wrestler, Mark.
Hey, brother, we all get our starts. Hey, backyard wrestling. I got my start in backyard wrestling.
did?
Yeah, and it was. I looked like Andre the Giant compared to the guys I was in the ring with. They were all guys that were never gonna go anywhere. They would be great in this day and age because there's, I think there is just like a smaller, overall there's like a smaller wrestling base, I guess.
Yeah.
But these guys were, and they were teeny tiny, and then there was this me that's, I'm 6 foot, I'm 6'8", 320 pounds, and I just looked like Andre compared to everybody else. And but back then, you just, whenever you got an opportunity to get in the ring, whatever it was,
What was your backyard wrestling name?
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
Yeah. And I had a Powerhouse Gym T-shirt that
there
I
you
wore.
go.
I mean, I was living the gimmick even.
You probably got the shirt for free for joining the gym or something.
No, I didn't get anything free, brother. Back then, they had no clue who I was. I think it was even pink too.
Pink.
Yeah.
at you.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was before I, calmed my colors down. But
A simpler palette.
I trained to be a wrestler. I backyard wrestled, and then I trained in Toronto. I wanted to do this bad. And as you know, the Attitude Era was crazy, right? Everybody was a wrestling fan. The cool thing about that time was if you saw someone wearing a wrestling shirt, it connected people, right? I remember walking down the halls of my high school, and you'd see someone wearing an Austin 316 shirt, and you're like, you're a wrestling fan too? Did we just become best friends? Like that scene from Step Brothers? And it's just crazy how wrestling's one of those things that unites everybody.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy because the Attitude Era was the first time in my career, I would see people that had their wrestling shirts on in public.
Yeah.
People would wear their wrestling shirts to the shows, or they would have them, but you just didn't see them like a concert shirt or whatever else. But man, during the Attitude Era, there was all you saw was Austin 316. It was, and then obviously Rock, and then everybody came along. But it was, you're right. It was those shirts that.
Yeah. What's your most popular shirt?
Dead Man Inc.
Yeah. Pretty great.
I saw one at Raw in Savannah when they came a couple weeks ago.
Dead Man Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy wearing one of those.
So I started so when I went to the American Badass, I kind of switched things around. I was like, I want something that's cool. But I was thinking the other way. I was like, I want something that people wear outside of, because not everybody, there's a little stigma sometimes about being, a wrestling fan. Not so much anymore, but people, I don't want people to know I'm a wrestling fan or whatnot. But
did y'all have a lot of influence on your shirts?
Oh yeah. You sit down with creative and figure it out, and they'll present you with ideas, and you say, I like that. What if we change this? What if we do that? Kind of a deal. And then there's some people that just say, hey, this is what we got for you. Oh, I like it. Let's go with it.
They're just happy to have a shirt, maybe.
Yeah. So
what I'm worried about is CTE more than anything, right? Yeah. And I feel like what he did to you with those chair shots.
Yeah. Can somebody answer that phone? Okay, go.
Oh man! Wow, Matt.
Mark,
hey, are you looking for a guest host? I know there's one that's going to be available.
One's going to be available
really soon.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for a job.
He wears sandals sometimes. He answers to the name of Bud.
Debo. You almost killed a man.
I did, brother. Okay.
So the chair shots have become very famous. That you.
Okay.
You
In my
did.
defense, go back and look at the whole scope of how I swing a chair.
Yeah.
I hit everybody the same. There was no malice. There was no I'm going to try and hurt the greenhorn. If you look at all my chair shots, when we could hit. Now granted, at the time, we did not know about
business.
We did not know about CTE. And I came up in a generation where that's how you swung a chair.
Yeah.
And I have been accused, and I'm getting a little bit hot about it.
At you.
Yeah, because you feed them.
At you, sandal boy.
You know what? The chair. I've been accused of smashing Canyon. I've been accused of smashing Canyon with a chair because he was gay.
Oh, God.
I didn't even know he was gay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know until years later.
And did you care when you did find out?
No,
Of course
I could care less.
Of course
Yeah.
I mean, but there's people out there that have created that rumor. Well, Undertaker smashed him. Undertaker swung a chair the way Undertaker swung a chair. I didn't expect anything. I didn't. If I swung a chair at somebody the way I swung it, I'd expect the same one back.
Yeah.
Watch me and Triple H. He beat the crap out of me with this. That's just the way I learned how to swing a chair. Brody hit me with a chair in my first match that I thought broke my spine. That's just the way I came up.
Yeah.
Obviously, knowing now what we do about head injuries,
Right. Yeah.
it's a different deal. I would say, okay, make sure that you get your hands up, and that's always been an option too. Is
You didn't tell me make sure you keep your hands down. That was all me. I just knew I wasn't going to be the guy that puts my hand up on the first chair shot I took. You took amazing care of me. He walked me through everything that I would be involved in that night, and backstage told me, this chair shot, brother, I'm gonna have to bring it, but I'm gonna hit you flush. I'm gonna hit you square, and and I know they're outlawed and they're out of the business now, and for the better.
Yeah.
But as long as you hit someone right here in the crown, and this is not this ain't gonna be popular take, but it's safe. It's as safe as you can do it.
Yeah.
He didn't hit me in the back of the head. He didn't. It sounded a whole lot worse.
because I hit him
Than it
in the
was.
middle,
Right in the middle.
of
Yeah.
the chair,
Yeah.
where it's the
I
most
think
flexible.
I thought it was a great chair
It
shot, to be
was.
honest with you.
It was. It was.
it's got millions of views across the internet.
I love it.
Obviously, people are talking about it,
Yeah.
and I got heat, but
You have no heat over here.
Well-
It raised my toughness level.
Yeah.
People are like, man, Maven can take a chair shot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he took it like a champ, man.
So-
Yeah, there are the I Quit match between Rock
with-
and
and Mankind.
Mankind.
Yeah.
I mean, Mick, gosh Almighty,
and Rocky brought him.
and Rock brought him. But that's
Is there
just-
a way to take a chair shot? Because the way you took it was absolutely amazing.
I think that's the only way to take it. Actually, to not tense up, I think, is if you can. They say, in a car wreck, alcoholics actually, because their body's looser. They go
Fluid.
with it. I think if you just go with it, it's the best way to take. That chair shot didn't hurt, and I've said it. It stung the way if you kick your toe on the.
I mean, it is metal.
yeah,
it
it's
is metal.
It's going to hurt. But it's
When you stub your toe on your bed.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. For 10 seconds, that's the worst pain on earth.
Oh, yeah,
You can
absolutely.
hack my arm off. It's not going to hurt worse than that is for 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, it stung, and then it went away.
So
Yeah.
thanks
No
for
heat.
trying to stir up. Thank you.
I'm not trying
Thank
to
you for not
heat.
having heat.
No
That's
heat
the
here.
difference in somebody who's,
Do you have a chair
professional.
lying around? You can show them.
I would love to show him. I would love to show him.
The other chair shot that is pretty famous that you took from Undertaker was the one on the neck.
the throat.
Yeah, on the throat. And
Was that the one where I slammed you down
Yes.
on it?
Yes.
That's why he talks so beautifully now.
Fix
I
my
gave him
larynx.
those golden pipes because I crushed his
Fix
larynx.
my larynx.
And I mean, because that's a little bit different of a chair shot than you typically
Yeah.
would see or something like that. I mean, to me, I look at that and I go, man, that is
Cool bump.
It's almost, I feel like it's more dangerous to do that than it would be to take one on the head. Just in case.
Who controls that whole bump?
Me.
Really?
And he showed it to me beforehand. I don't know why we don't see that more.
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest bump. We were going over it ahead of time, and he told me, he's like, I'm going to grab you by the back. I'm going to take the chair. I'm going to put it to your chest. At that point, grab it on both ends. And then as he's pulling me back, it's all on me to go down. It looks devastating because he doesn't even slam me down on it. It looks devastating. You told me, you were like, now when you hit, toss it, and that'll just sell it. And it didn't even come close to my throat. It's the easiest bump. I don't know why people don't do it now.
It looks devastating,
It does.
and it's really safe.
So I don't know if you remember this, but Kurt Hennig comes up to me after that, and we were in Richmond Coliseum, and he finds me. And he's in his street clothes, got his fanny pack on, and he's like, Maven. He's like, man, you need to protect Taker. If I was you, I'd go out and I'd find a neck brace and wear it. And that's the reaction, because I came to you and I was like, take like a kid asking for an extension on their homework. I was like, Taker, I'll do it if you think I should wear. And you did that exact reaction. You giggled just like that, and you went, you're all right, kid.
Yeah. Kurt was bad, man. He was bad.
But listen, if you would have had a little bit of Mr. Fuji or a little bit of
Yeah,
Paul
no.
Bear in you, I would have been running to CVS.
Getting a neck
And
brace.
I would have been walking around.
You've been in here with a neck
He
brace
could have
on.
had me in a neck brace for a month.
I don't rib. I don't want to be ribbed. That's it.
He could have been like, you know what? One more week with the neck brace, and I think you can take it off. And I'd have been like, you got it.
So, anyway, would you like to apologize to me now?
No. I was not accusing you of
No,
necessarily-
there was a tone of accusing.
I was
accusement.
just saying
that a
that,
word?
maybe.
Accusatorial. I think it was accusatorial tone there.
Do you think so? Well, I apologize. Now that we've heard from the
I
victim.
mean, you led in the conversation with an apology.
Yeah, there was
warranted.
very.
I
an
felt
apology
like maybe
warranted.
one was.
Yeah.
I mean, after watching it, I was like, man,
See, that's why we're professionals, and you're a mark.